So that was some of the damage that I managed to record on the 24th of September, the Saturday just after Hurricane Fiona landed in Halifax. And, the damage, it was pretty extensive. But fortunately, it wasn't as bad as some of the stuff we saw coming out of the Caribbean, like in Puerto Rico. And even after, when Fiona left Halifax and went to like the rest of the Atlantic, it got a lot worse. And I think comparatively, we did pretty well. And that was great for me because I did not do any planning whatsoever. The reason I was out on that Saturday morning, it was partially to record the damage. And you might think, wow, look at the way it bent around that pole. Is that like paper or cardboard or something? No. It's metal. I thought it'd be interesting to walk around and see what happened. But it was mostly because I was hungry. But of course, everything was closed. Even the institution known as Tim Hortons isn't open. And if Tim's isn't open, nothing's open. Seems like everybody was on a different page than I am. It's like they were prepping for a storm or something. Oh, yeah. So this is a new condo that was being built in around 2019. And that happened to be the same year that we had Hurricane Dorian. And I don't know what happened. Maybe there was some miscommunication, or they didn't think that the hurricane was going to be as bad as it was. But somebody didn't take the crane down, or at least they didn't lock it down. And, well, luckily, the crane didn't land on the ground. It didn't hit anybody. Nobody was hurt. No houses were destroyed or anything like that. But it did fall on the building itself, and that's why they named it the crane. The whole road was closed for a couple of weeks. It took them a while to take that thing down. But it was quite the sight, and it made for a pretty interesting tourist attraction. All right, here we go, guys. Let's pick it up. Let's go. No. Not happening. So I spent a lot of time walking around, and I think I had a pretty good time. It was nice to just walk about the city and not have to think about much, but it was also a pretty illuminating experience. Now, what do I mean by illuminating, though? Well, there are a lot of tents out here, like a lot of people living in tents. And just walking around the city has made me realize I should seriously take the time to appreciate how fortunate I am to not be one of those people in the tents. Like, even behind me, it must be like such a harrowing experience to be in that tent. The wind blowing and the trees knocking, and this is a moment of gratitude. Seeing all those wrecked tents and all those homeless people that have probably had to face such a terrible night, it really made me come to bear with the fact that I was very lucky to be able to just walk around after a storm and have fun. Usually that's not the kind of thing that happens after a storm for most people. I don't know how long this is gonna last, but some of the damage is quite extensive to the power lines, so we all know how Nova Scotia Power is. I'm so fortunate that I didn't have to think about food. I didn't have to prep. Not even that I didn't have to prep, I didn't even have to think about prepping, because I knew I'd be able to find food, I'd be able to find whatever I needed eventually. Alright, so I had a couple of opportunities to buy pizza, and you know what? I think I'd rather starve than eat pizza. I wouldn't do too well in an apocalypse. I'd probably die very quickly out of spite. Anyways, I kept walking, and I knew my last opportunity would be on Gottingen Street, because I'd been walking for so long and I was ready to call it quits. And at long last, I think we can conclude this story. And what is it that Devin got?
Yeah, we're still in the dark. Alright, I have a solution for this light problem. So, what exactly did I get? Well,
So I got my, healthy vegan food or whatever. I don't know. I'd like to think that experience of seeing all that damage and seeing how hard other people had it. I heard one family, they had their roof flew off of their house and hit their neighbor's roof.
mere feet away from this person's house.
I'd like to think after that experience that I grew an appreciation for just how good at that I have it. But I guess we won't know until the next storm hits. And by then, it'll be a snowstorm.